Hey, it's another Q&A with Dr. J. Dr. J. Dunn is the CEO and founder of a company called My Happy Genes, which is the only genetic testing company that not only tells you your genetic profile, but couples that with the biochemistry of your body that explains together. Those two things can explain why you are the way you are. We have another great question, Dr. J, from a young woman. She's in her 30s. She's having a hard time getting pregnant. Is there something to be found in her genetic profile that could indicate why, and perhaps she could use that to increase her fertility?
Yeah, this is a really good question. And there is a lot that we can do to get the body balanced so that it puts it in a better state to get pregnant for fertility, number one, but also to have a baby and a healthy outcome with the birth. There are certain genetic variants that can cause the body to stay in a state of stress. When our ancestors basically were under a lot of stress, it was a terrible time to give birth. And so our physiology is designed to say, all right, shut down reproduction in favor of just staying alive and dealing with the current stressful environment. There are certain genetic variants that make people less able to get rid of stress hormones out of their body. And so they stay in a physiologically stressed state all the time. It's going to make it very difficult for their bodies to be able to get into this reproductive mode that they need to get into. The hormones change and where they can get pregnant successfully. And so, for instance, if their body is making a lot of stress hormones like the adrenaline or cortisol, and they can't break those down, then the physiology stays in that stressful state. The body's going to shut off the production of the estrogens and progesterones and things that are necessary for getting pregnant. And so when we work with somebody like that, when we put them on a supplement program and diet and lifestyle program through My Happy Genes, then it balances out those neurotransmitters that cause the stress state, and they get into that calm state, and they're more likely to be able to get pregnant. There are lots of other things that can interfere with getting pregnant. We're not addressing those right now, but that's the sort of the genetic piece that we look at that can really contribute to that whole infertility problem.
And it would be many women these days go for genetic testing before they get pregnant to see what's going on with the spouse or partner and themselves. And you could add a My Happy Genes test to that and get even more information and see whether you're leaning in the direction of having difficulty, right? And take that off the table right off the bat.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other cool thing is something called methylation. With methylation, essentially, we've known for many, many years that women should take folic acid when they're thinking about getting pregnant or they are pregnant to prevent birth defects. And so this is not new knowledge. That's essentially methylation. So folic acid and B12 create what are called methyl groups. And the methyl groups turn off the expression of, let's say, a birth defect like spina bifida. So if you have genetic variants in that methylation cycle where they can't make methyl groups and turn off the expression of those genes that can cause birth defects, then they're highly susceptible to that. The other piece of that is there have been some great studies showing that when expectant mothers or women who are wanting to get pregnant and wanting to do some family planning, when they get their biochemistry optimized and get their methylation balanced, it prevents a lot of diseases down the line in that baby, in that child. It changes the genetic expression for the rest of that baby's. Once you lay down these methylation patterns during gestation, they stay there. And so it can prevent heart disease, cancers, and diabetes and obesity risk. Lots of things that can be prevented if that mother is balanced during gestation, and then that baby is born and they're much healthier. It's amazing to see them because they're brighter, they're happier, they sleep through the night, they don't cry nearly as much, they're solid when you pick them up. It's an amazing thing when you pick up certain kids and it feels like they're flimsy. They're built differently. The more I've seen this through my practice over the years, the more I'm just amazed at how different babies are when they are properly methylated and when the mother has paid attention and gotten on a nutrition program designed for their genetics. So it's an incredible gift to give that child for the rest of their lives.
I think you should be talking to all the OBGYNs in the country and bringing this to their awareness so that we can have healthier babies and healthier moms.
I think so too.
If you like this video, hit the subscribe button and go to myhappygenes.com if you want to learn more about the company and what makes us different.